We have a very interesting panel. We're honored to have you here. We have different types of airlines from different regions and from different stages in the acquisition of air traffics. Our session consists in two parts. In the first part, we're going to present facts, very fresh numbers that our team just developed from our recent research. This has not been published yet, but this is a good preview that you're going to see today. And in the next part, we are going to our panel. Our wonderful panel will share some stories of success and some best practices. So let's get started. I will introduce the panel. Ladies first, Brenda Soto. She's Digital Media Manager at Aeromexico. Thank you, Brenda, for joining us. Sabine Theodore Legault, SEO Project Manager at Air France. Thank you, Sabine, for coming all the way to Denver. Gabrielle Tomé, Senior Product Designer and Digital Channels at Azul Airlines. Thank you, Gabrielle. And Sam Talbot, Head of Marketing and Brand at Logan Air. From the Everymundo team, we have our Director of SEO and Digital Insights, Emmanuel Tirado. Thank you, Emmanuel. And Claudia Martinez, Customer Success. So let's get started. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. Air traffic's landing pages help airlines to get visibility in the organic search results, especially for non-branded terms like flights to, destinations, and routes. And this is very relevant for airlines because this is, for many airlines, the main source of acquisition. And also, this is highly competitive with OTAs and meta searches. So we're going to start with Emmanuel. Please help us elaborate a little bit more on highlights that we have seen on SEO for airlines, why air traffic outperforms than any other regular landing page, and also how much incremental revenue and session we can get from air traffic.
Hi, everyone. So first of all, I wanted to thank our amazing panelists here for joining us today. I'm pretty sure that they will, share some interesting insights about, how our traffic is performing from an SEO standpoint, right, and how it's driving incremental traffic and revenue. I wanted to, if you go back a little bit, just wanted to emphasize and revisit a little bit the definition of SEO. So basically, SEO is it includes a set of techniques that we can, or the website owners can do to, improve the positions of pages on search engines, right? It basically has three main scope of work: technical SEO, content optimization, and link building, right? Air traffic is, in my opinion, the perfect solution to tackle the technical challenges of SEO for an airline specifically. And here in the next slide, you will see which are the most common issues that we see across many of the airlines that later become customers, and these are the most important technical problems that we have seen. First of all, is that most of them they don't even have flight pages, right? And the ones that have flight pages, they don't have fare module, which is an important, critical, content aspect of flight pages. They don't. The URL structure, many times, it's very messed up. It's not coherent, and it's very organized. The XML sitemap, which are super important for SEO, they're non-existent or are outdated. They also suffer from canonicalization problems. And one of the most common issues that we have seen is unindexable content and links rendered via client-side JavaScript. Sometimes we see these amazing, visually spectacular pages, right, on airlines' websites, but the content there is just not readable by Google, right? So it's not indexable. Google can even know that there is content there, right? So air traffic comes to solve these issues, and basically everything in air traffic is server-side JavaScript. So everything there that you see, Google can render and index. I wanted to share with you some data about the impact of air traffic on the SEO performance of airlines. This is some research that we did recently across many customers, a sample of customers. And here we can see that after adopting air traffic, the average incremental traffic in year 1 was about 7%, and in year 3 was 14%, right? But the potential is even higher. So we have seen cases where the potential is more than 40% incremental traffic after year 3. So I wanted to highlight here that number 1, in all cases, air traffic brought some incremental traffic, right? And number 2, and this is more important in my opinion, is that it tends to increase. It's not that you are getting incremental traffic in year 1, that's it, that you're getting, the 7% every single year after launching air traffic. You will keep increasing incremental traffic and revenue, most importantly. But these are averages. So I wanted to show you that, the next slide, that when airlines implement some of our best practices, they get even more revenue and more traffic, right? This is an example of airlines who redirected versus airlines who didn't redirect their old destination pages to air traffic and how it impacted the SEO performance. So in this case, we see, for example, that airlines that redirected, they got an incremental, let's say, revenue in this case of 2.5% more revenue, right? But airlines who did not redirect only reached 1.8%, right? But what is striking here is the potential. As you can see, if you don't redirect the pages, you shouldn't expect, that great increase in revenue. That's what the data shows, right? And this is just one example, but we have seen the same pattern when airlines implement interlinking, and when we compare the data against airlines that did not implement interlinking. We can also, talk about content optimization. Those airlines who added content versus those that didn't add any type of content, and yeah, the difference is remarkable. So it's not only about launching our traffic, but also doing something with it, right? It's about implementing best practices, and the good thing is that we have 120 pages of best practices for SEO that you can read and implement with our help, and I'm pretty sure that it will make a big difference.
Let's start with the first question for the panel. How important is SEO for the perspective of your airline, your organization? Can we start in this direction, Sam?
Hello. Hi. I think from Logan Air's perspective, we're a regional airline, and we don't have the levels of budgets that probably some of the airlines in this room do have. So a very key thing for us is PPC, and we can't afford to use paid search constantly, and SEO is key. Organic rank is absolutely key to ensuring that we can manage our marketing budgets first and foremost.
So, well, for us, it's been like 7 years where we have Everymundo, and it's been great, the 7 years along. But I think the most important part of the key of SEO was during the pandemic. I know this sounds weird, and it sounds like it makes no sense because everyone in the airline was crazy and the things were very low. But at the end of the day, as we didn't have many other resources, SEO was the key, was the 100% of the sales of all the airline came from SEO. So it was very, very important. And I know it's crazy to say it because if you say it to another, maybe to the directors and stuff, that they are like, but it was horrible, yes, but we know that what are the achievable things we can do with SEO, and Everymundo was a key to preserve the airline. And in that maybe a year, it was the most important part of the sales. So now everyone in the company knows about SEO. and now we're trying to do it better. So yeah.
Sabine.
Thank you. So SEO is a key marketing lever for Air France, as it ensures that we can respond to all of our customers' questions, either whether if it's from sales perspective or pure servicing, we can respond to all questions like related to baggage or travel with pets or infants. So we make sure to be where the customers are. And by working our SEO strategy, we can ensure to maintain our presence at minimum of cost.
Well, I think it's a hustle to be ranked, to be in the first places, to be seen on search engines. So SEO, you just can't just depends on the paid ads on search engines. So SEO, it's key to help to support these strategies. So you can just left behind this. So I think it's this way.
Thank you. What was the challenge before getting EveryMundo landing pages, airTRFX? Maybe for you guys that just implemented airTRFX, Gabriel or Sam. What was the challenge before that EveryMundo solved?
Well, I work in a commercial team of about 16, 17 people, so I work alongside revenue management and network planning, etc., etc. So the marketing team actually only consists of about 3 or 4 people. So one of the big things, to be honest, was resource. We couldn't create hundreds of pages for hundreds of different O&Ds at scale quickly, whereas that was something that we had asked that question to our marketing agency as to whether they could do something along these lines, and it was just eye-watering to look at it, and we wouldn't have had the same result. So I think a key thing for me is that scalability, how quickly it can be implemented. If we get a new route online, it can be on in a moment. So it's very, very flexible, very versatile, and helped with a real lack of resource, I would say.
Well, on my side, I think airTRFX are pushing us to have an SEO directed for conversion, to have useful contents to be ranked, because I believe, in my opinion, our marketing team was creating contents to blogs, to beautiful contents, but it's not indexable. It's not the users what they want. So I think airTRFX is pushing us to drive SEO to be useful for the user, so to get noticed by search engines, and to create pages that combine useful content and conversion. So I think this is it.
Thank you. Now some dedicated questions for every stage of you guys in airTRFX. Gabriel, you recently launched airTRFX and immediately got a lot of visibility, outranking OTAs, competitors. What are the key practices that you implemented during this launch?
Well, it's been noticed that we doubled the amount of keywords are ranked, and it's with quality, so it's ranked by top 3, the measure of the keywords we are pushing on, and it's been great. But we are doing everything on our ends. We are trying to refer to airTRFX. So I believe the airTRFX are good, not for only SEO, but to qualify our leads to the booking flow. So I think the user has more offers to see, the fares are there. So I think when you lead them to the booking flow, this lead is qualified. So I think the best practices are referring everything on our ends to their traffics. We have built a sitemap with custom pages just for that sitemap. So I think this is a good strategy to be, when you search for Azul or search for tickets, Azul is shown there. There are pages that we built just for that. So I think this is the best practice we are making. There are other custom pages, but that's the major point here.
Thank you. Sam, Logan has executing successfully the SEO roadmap that Everymundo suggested. How Everymundo has been helping you, providing more best practices that you implemented?
Well, Cameron, who's our account manager, just gave us a few quick wins, and I think it was quick wins that weren't necessarily available to other airlines in the sense of, because we're small and we're quite nimble, I have access to our PR team, I have access to tourism organisations that we deal with campaigns on a daily basis. Never forget about the wider role and giving these pages authority. So getting links from tourism bodies, any PR that we're doing, Logan Air's constant, because it's a very growing business at the moment. It's constantly got news articles. So all of this is really helpful. And then the second thing I would just say is, use the product. We're driving it through multiple channels, and then just embrace it. Just put it absolutely at the centre of your performance marketing strategy, because everything that you're driving to it is giving those pages more credit.
This is great that you have the scope and visibility to include multiple channels and all collaborating to SEO. Awesome. Brenda, Aeromexico recently decided to migrate airTRFX from the subdomain to a subdirectory. That means from flights.aeromexico.com to aeromexico.com/flights2. This was a decision that Aeromexico was planning for a better user experience, but it ended up in a very positive impact on SEO. We saw more keywords ranking on the first page of Google. And how was the experience of bringing the eyes of other areas to collaborate towards that goal?
Yeah, well, to be honest, it was hard because I've been an SEO girl for more than 10 years, but not everybody in the company, well, now it's most known, but 5 years ago, not everybody know what SEO is. Everybody was like, what's that? And this girl is like, yeah, can we change the flight for the Aeromexico? And we finally did it, like 5 years. It took like 5 years. It wasn't Everymundo's fault. It was like a head direction fault, but we actually did it, and it was amazing. It was like seamless. The change was seamless. We increased like 30% keywords in the USA market. We didn't even able to do that in like 10 years of aeromexico.com. So it was crazy, and the results was great. And everybody then in the company was like, oh, I didn't do this before. And I'm like, because you tell me. But it was, in the technical part, very seamless. It wasn't fast because of all the things that, are very jealous of the company, like what are we going to put into our .com? It's been very complex, it's very secure, but we did it and it was perfect, and it was 30% better in the USA, and we are in Mexico market, so it's like 10% better in Mexico market. So it was a great thing to do. So if you can do it, just do it.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something here is moving from subdomain to subdirectory is a proven best practice. So if anyone out there still has their traffic in the subdomain, please move it to a subdirectory. You will see an increase in traffic and probably an increase in revenue too. It's proven, even though Google has said many times that it doesn't matter, we do know that it matters, right? So that's another best practice when implementing traffic, that if you can do it in a subfolder, if you are in a subdomain already, move it to a subfolder. There are very rare cases where we recommend having a traffic in subdomains. It can happen, but from an SEO standpoint, we definitely see advantage to having a traffic in a subfolder. So just wanted to add that in.
Thank you. Sabine, for Air France, airTRFX displays dynamic fare data on the pages, and this is valuable for bookings, but also valuable for SEO. But you recently decided to add more data sets for additional dynamic content for other cabin classes and branded fares, premium economy, and business class. How was your experience, or how you envisioned this on your strategy of SEO?
Yes, indeed. To set the scene, before we had a manual process, which was very restrictive. And now we are using FairNet. We are able to display dynamic prices, giving to the customer the best fares available at real times. So that's a huge improvement. We also add the cabin class filter that giving the customer the ability to choose, to compare, and to choose the best travel class based on their budget. So it's a huge improvement for us. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing this.
Having pages with fares, it's extremely important for SEO too. We have even seen that when, for some reason, air traffic pages don't have fares at all, sometimes Google will label that page as a source 404, which basically means that it's not a source for, it's not a 404, but it resembles a 404, right? There is no content there. There are no fare modules. However, just adding fare modules, or making sure that fare modules are present there, will fix that issue immediately. So my point here is that using or a variety of fare modules on your pages will significantly help SEO too. If you can add, for example, a module about domestic flights to domestic flights, international flights, I don't know, economy flights, so that could be another fare module. One-way flights, so everything. The more fare modules you have on a page, the better it will be for SEO. Just try to avoid this is a pro tip again. I know that not everyone can do this. We have like 2 or 3 default fare modules, but in my opinion, just try to add as many as you can. Just be creative about that, because that one is another best practice for SEO, and they will you will see results.
A great recommendation. Thank you, Manuel, for that. Let's talk about custom pages. Custom pages goes beyond destinations and routes. This allows you to have more opportunities to cover other additional keywords, or even going to upper funnels. So please share your experience going beyond these destination pages. Maybe we start the other way around, Sabine. You have a plan to implement the strategy for custom pages. Can you share your experience, your examples that you told me, Sabine?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Ladies first, please.
Thank you. So indeed, we released recently new custom pages that gave us ability to communicate beyond pure destination content, by highlighting a specific region like French Riviera or others, and also to highlight specific travel behavior, like winter trips or city breaks or everything. So it's going beyond destination to display what the customers are looking for.
Well, we have, as I said in the other question, that we have created pages to our sitemaps, custom pages to international flights, to national flights, and we are using this for social ads too, but we have created also custom pages for holidays. So each holiday in Brazil, we have a content, a useful content for the users, and the offers to destinations we are talking about. So we have, for each holiday, we have this. Also, we created a page to Carnival, which is huge in Brazil. So we are always creating pages to these specific campaigns, and this is strategy to sitemaps and social ads, etc.
Brenda, can you share your experience with custom pages, your strategy?
Yes, well, we have 3 types of these kind of pages. We have the sponsor, because Aeromexico sponsors kind of teams of football, baseball, blah, blah, blah. And we create a specific landing page for that sponsor kind of thing, because it was very important to attract that kind of traffic that is not related of airline, but people are following their team. And they do that, they do that a lot. And if you can have that keyword of where's gonna play, Chivas, it's a team from Mexico. So if you have that kind of keywords, people are gonna buy the ticket to see where the team is gonna play next. So that's one kind of. The second kind is like Gabriel was told that it was kind of a seasonality things. We have a lot of things like Cinco de Mayo. We have a lot of things like Dia de Muertos and things that are very Mexican specific for all the people to come from outside of Mexico or inside of Mexico. And that's the other kind of landing page. And the third kind of landing page are, well, you are helping us with that. They are the experts of doing that, so we have a package of 100 landing page, and we are doing this with a thing we call hero. I think we invented that word, whatever. It's a term of what people are looking for that are outside the airline, but it can be related to us. An example is how to travel with pets. Pets are huge. Nobody gets that kind of keyword research. So we're doing the pets, or how to fly if you're over 60 years old, how to fly if you are pregnant or if you have kids, or all that kind of hero keywords. That's the third kind of custom page that we're creating. So that's it.
Awesome.
I'm a big fan of custom page. Well, go ahead, Sam. Sorry for that. Yeah, I'm too excited.
All of your answers sound like, you're doing a lot of very strategic pieces of work with them. I think probably my answer is going to sound much more simplistic, but because I worked in revenue management for 2 years before I worked in marketing for the last 5 or 6, and fundamentally the goal at the end of the day of the commercial team is to ensure that routes are performing and we're delivering on our revenue budget. So I probably have access to people that a lot of you guys maybe don't have access to. And I'll hear in weekly meetings, oh, this route's not performing well, what can we do? Well, the reality is, this is a key product for tactical promotions. And it can be very, very targeted, and we couldn't be this targeted before. So as an example, we fly, say, Manchester to Newquay. There's a problem with the route, right? Okay, let's go and talk to our data team. Have a look at the numbers. Well, we can see it's weekend travel that's down Friday, Sunday, Monday, and we know there's a softness on weekend leisure travel out of Manchester. So it then comes back to sort of performance marketing, and we can create a page specifically for Manchester to Newquay, showcasing the best fares or promotional fares for a Friday, Sunday, Monday, and then obviously, my job is then to put that into our wider media plan and put it in front of the people that matter, who are going to respond to that offer. So it's really been an integral. It's been an excellent bridge between marketing and revenue management. I would say these pages, and bigger airlines, I would really encourage for tactical promotions. I'd really encourage you to talk to one another and put them at the centre. And then the SEO bit then comes from that. Again, you're doing this work in the day job. This is the day job that needs to be done to keep the business running. But there's a wider halo effect around you trying to solve the other business problems.
Fantastic.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I'm a big fan of custom pages. I think it's maybe one of the most underrated opportunities for traffic, right? We have some customers that are making millions of dollars out of custom pages. And they serve 2 purposes. Number one, they capture those searches that our standard traffic pages cannot capture by default, right? So you have flights to city, you have flights from city to city, but you don't have flights to places. So you will be surprised that people search for flights in very weird ways. They search for flights to Disneyland. They search for flights to national parks. They search for flights to states, to Florida. So you want to capture that, right? Eventually, you will probably convert those users. So that's the first purpose. The second one is that custom pages can attract a ton of attention, right? Press releases or the media can even, refer to these pages. You can get a ton of backlinks to custom pages. It will also help with the rest of the air traffic implementation too. So to me, custom pages is, if I have to choose, is probably the very first thing that I would do after implementing air traffic. So what custom pages can we create that will capture those opportunities, right? So ladies and gentlemen, just build custom pages. There is a ton of money there.
Yes, there are a lot of ideas to generate your first custom pages, and also reaching out. The team of Everymundo can help you create more. We have in our website as well a list of a bunch of topics that you can create more ideas and the research of the revenue that they are driving. Thank you. Let's discuss the next topic. We have been discussing through the day a lot of artificial intelligence. So this might be a challenge for SEO, or what do you guys see if a customer is going through a chat instead of going to Google to get some answers? Brenda, maybe you can share.
Yes, I think it is challenging, but as I've been thinking of this a lot lately. I don't know if you have been doing the same thing, but how does the AI is gonna take information in if nobody else is doing it, right? So we have to generate the information. Are we at the peak of this information? Maybe AI is gonna help us next on some level, but I think we have to still doing this content. We have to be original. We have to create them, and we still need this human touch to do it. I think it's going to be challenging, but I think it's not going to be the end of SEO in any ways. So I think that's going to happen next.
Anyone else would like to share an idea?
Yeah, I agree. I think the SEO is becoming an evolving tool in the future, as we have to adapting from AI perspective. So it's going to be a challenge, as she said, but it's not becoming irrelevant.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. But I think it's a thing we need to keep monitoring. What will be the trends of the users? What will be their behaviors? So I think it's a very important point. And I don't know about the future, but it's trending. So we need to keep monitoring. If anything changes, we need to step on forward of it. So maybe, I don't know, we can have it on our website to help users to have the informations using our own AI. I don't know, but I think we must be careful with that, with this trend.
Thank you.
Just want to say that for content SEO, it's definitely a threat. It's a problem. Now we are dealing in the world of e-commerce SEO. Technically, it's not about content SEO. It's not about creating informational content. It's about creating product pages and flights. Just products, right? They're flights. So to me, it's difficult to foresee what's going to happen. I do know that, for example, Kaya, I don't know about Kaya, but I know Expedia already has a plugin that you can use in ChatGPT. And you can find flights inside ChatGPT, right? Will users rely on ChatGPT to find flights? That's the question that I don't know the answer to, right? It's difficult to answer right now. The adoption rate of ChatGPT is definitely amazing, right? But I don't know if for finding flights, that's difficult to know, right? So it's probably an industry that will be, if it is affected, it won't be among the first ones, right? I think, the people doing more news, SEO or content type of SEO will be affected, quickly. But yeah, my point is that right now is like there's a ton of uncertainty. It's hard to know exactly where this is going. We're very grasping, the reality here, the possibilities of, AI for SEO for airlines specifically. So we'll see. But yeah, it's uncertain right now.
Thank you, Manuel. Sam, just to wrap up with these questions, what is the next big thing? What is the next challenge that you see putting your efforts on your SEO strategy, and how do you think EveryMundo can help you with?
From my perspective, we've covered all of the lower funnel with the product and done very well with that. So I suppose it's incremental growth and where those passengers coming from. So I think looking at more mid-funnel search terms for us is sort of the next step, as some of the people next to me here have already started to do. So that's the next step in our journey, I think. Yeah.
Thank you. Brenda?
I think the next challenge is gonna be we have every couple months new storefronts, and now we have in different countries and different languages. So you're gonna help me a lot trying to have all this content that we have in Spanish and English to translate in Italian and maybe Japanese. So that's the thing that you're gonna help me right now, and it's gonna be huge because it's everything to pass it into the new storefront. But yes, I think it's with your help, it's gonna be very, very good transition soon.
Thank you. Sabine?
Now we are managing over 100 markets in 12 languages in airTRFX. So the challenge is to be able to adapt from search engine algorithm who are constantly optimizing. So we have to be prepared and gain in agility as much as possible to face the changes and being able to give the customers the most relevant information they're looking for through those pages.
Yeah, the algorithm is a continuous challenge, right? So it's one. I have the same challenge that Brenda. We need to create pages in other languages. We're focused more in Brazil in Portuguese, and I think we have to be smarter to create those pages because it's a hard work to build a consistency with SEO. So we have to analyze data to see what is more relevant to the users and give priority to this, and then creating the strategy behind it. So we have airTRFX for 4 months, and we created a lot of pages with optimization. We have results, but we have to keep up with that.
SEO is an ongoing task.
Fun fact, we have never been impacted by an SEO algorithm update ever. Never. So, and it happens often. So Google has many algorithms. It also has the core algorithm, right? There are a couple, 2-3 updates a year of the core algorithm. And we have a process to monitor, what happens after that. And we have never seen any kind of impact, right? And that's a serious thing. People lose their jobs because of the impact of an algorithm update. And that's something that is very unpredictable. No one knows what is the formula, what changed, what Google deprioritized and prioritize. No one knows that, right? There are people who are making a ton of money, in content SEO, right? Through ads or affiliate marketing, and all of a sudden, because this is not something that happens over time. No, Google algorithm, they can kill your website presence overnight, and the next day you have nothing. But again, fortunately, we have never impacted any of our customers by a Google algorithm. That's something that I wanted to highlight.
Thank you, Manuel. Do we have any questions from the audience? Yes, there.
Hi. So I'm Drew Ascoff, Customer Success Manager at Every Window. It's probably a question for Emmanuel, and probably and the panel as well. But a lot of talk around rankings and where our pages are appearing in your search results. Obviously, Google's making a lot of changes to schema and markup and FAQ content and quick facts in search results. So are you seeing a move to kind of looking at how your pages are ranking from a pixel position rather than actual placement moving forward? Because of the size of these kind of search results now, a ranking in the top 10 could be, the page is quite long. So is that something that's kind of happening? I know our tools like AWR now report pixel position as well as ranking.
Well, that's a great question. First of all, it's difficult to track that. So AWR, which is the tool that we use to track keywords, recently added that feature, right? But the general trend is that Google keeps demoting, let's say, pushing down, let's say, organic search results. That's the reality, The 10 blue links of 10 years ago no longer are just simply 10 blue links, right? You have ads, you have, like you said, you have this rich snippets, and it changes all the time. So it's really hard to keep track of that. But the general trend is that yes, organic search results are being pushed down over time, and now with the integration of Bard, Google's response to ChatGPT into search results that will be really soon, the problem gets worse. Because we have seen demos of how it will look like, the search results, and it's basically the summary that Bard does of the answer to a search query, and the summary takes the whole thing, your entire of the full page content. So the trend is that yes, it's search results are being pushed down over time. Are we actively tracking that? Not really, but now with this new feature of AWR, we probably can do some research around that and see what happens over time.
Any other question? Yes.
I'm curious, where you have invested in your SEO strategy and building out sort of the scale of pages within your web content. I'm curious whether you were able to see enough lift in organic traffic and revenue to then offset investments that you had been making in paid search.
Well, not specifically in paid search. That's a pending task that we have. It's in the pipeline, kind of analyzing how we can balance the SEO performance with the investment in paid search, right? That's a very interesting question. It wasn't that relevant some time ago because we didn't see airlines like really outranking OTAs, but now it's happening. So if you have a traffic, you now have a better chance of outranking Kayak or Expedia. So now we have to deal with that question. How much do we invest in paid search, considering that now you are ranking very well, right? So you don't need theoretically too much of an investment or effort to promote your site, your pages, right? I don't know if Caro is here. She's the head of the no, it's not here. Okay. But yeah, that's something that we want to look into. We want to start analyzing some of these customers that are really ranking all the OTAs, right? And we'll see like what happens if we turn off paid search, So we'll see. We'll look into it.
We will have tomorrow another panel of specifically dedicated to RSEM. Interesting. Yes, this is something that we're dealing every day, and we are continuously doing tests and more research. Thank you. Thank you so much. Do we have another question?
Cam?
Or
No? Oh, okay. Fine.
our wonderful panel. Thank you so much for sharing your ideas.